Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. All right, my beautiful people, welcome to Freedom Friday here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and baby, it is Friday. We made it to Friday, and you know what? I am feeling so full right now. I truly am. This week has been incredible. We journeyed together through a decision-making process. We explored the deep why behind the transformation, and we celebrated feminine wellness with beautiful Latasha. And yesterday we broke through those mental barriers together, right? But today I want to give you something. I want to give you something that's practical, yet powerful. Your very own transformation toolkit. Because, honey, transformation isn't about the big moments. It's about having the right tools, the right systems, and support in place to navigate the journey with grace. But before we get deep into this topic, let's take a quick break, all right? It's your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, it's your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. We're bridging the gap between them all, and we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by. Me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to axnyomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people, well, welcome back. But before we get into the day's topic, let's ground ourselves, all right? So if you all can just find a comfortable position or comfortable space right now, and close your eyes if you can, and let's breathe in together. I want you to take a deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. Let's take another deep breath in and let out with a sigh. Now I want you to imagine yourself completely free. Free from doubts, free from fear, free from the opinions of others, free from old patterns that no longer serves you. Now I want you to breathe in freedom and breathe out restriction. I want you to breathe in possibilities. Now breathe out limitations. I want you to breathe in power and breathe out excuses. I want you to feel your body relaxing into this space of infinite possibilities. You are free to choose. You are free to change. And you are free to become. Now I want you to say silently with me, all right? I am free to transform. I have everything I need within me. I trust my journey. Now take one more deep breath in. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes and step into our conversation of freedom and step into your freedom. All right? All right, my beautiful people, if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something we do every day, Monday through Friday, just to help ground us before we get into the topic at hand. All right, so let's talk about the transformation toolkit and why I decided that I wanted to do this. So y'all know over the past few months, I'm preparing for my explant surgery. And I've learned that that successful transformation requires more than just desire, that it requires preparation, system, and practical tools. So today I'm sharing my complete transformation toolkit with you. Whether you're preparing for a medical procedure like I am, or starting a new career, or ending a relationship, moving to a new city, or any other major changes, these tools will serve you. All right, so tool number one is my vision board, and I'm gonna call it Vision Board 2.0. Now, I know that you all heard of vision boards before because we talked about it many a times here on the Season of Self-Love, but also I know this is what the end of what we all do, right? But I want to create what I call the Vision Board 2.0. And this isn't just about pretty pictures. This is about the energy in an embodiment, all right? So here's how to create it. Step one is to the future self-portrait. I want to find or create an image that represents how you want to feel after your transformation. Not just how you want to look, but the energy that you want to carry. You know, like freedom, I guess, like a field. All right, so I love sunflowers, right? I love sunflowers. So I found a picture of a field full of sunflowers. And that's a part of freedom for me. But also, I want to feel 100% complete. And so I have this complete circle that I wrote completion in. And then I want to feel well. And so I found where I have a little girl, or better, a woman that's running because she's healthy and she's full. All right, so step two is to journal the images. Journey the images. Include pictures that represent the process and not just the outcome. So for my explant journey, I included images of healing, of meditation, of sisterhood, and of courage. Step three, the affirmation integration. Write powerful statements around your images. Like, I trust my body wisdom, or I choose healing over comfort. Here's another one. I am brave enough for this journey. And here's one last one. My transformation serves the collective. In step four, and this is called the sacred placement. You put the vision board somewhere where you see it during your morning routines. Let it be the first thing that reminds you of your commitment to yourself. You know, it's funny. I have, and I was just looking at this the other day, and I was telling my husband, and we were talking about, me going through the, the explant surgery and going through this transformation. Now I'm going to share with you. He reminded me. I guess it was about 5 or 6 years ago. I had started this little jar. And this is supposed to be my jar of me saving money of my. I wanted to replace my old boobs and get new boobs. And this is what I said 6 years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago. And we laughed about it because, I had it, and, every time I had some free money, I'll put it in there. And I remember, I said, are you going to donate into my my new implant my new implant jar. So, remember back in the day when you had those big old jars and you filled them up with pennies? Well, my grandmother used to have a whole bunch of them. And I just remember just sitting here right now talking to you. I just remember we used to take like a nice little Friday, myself and a few of my cousins and my grandmother and my aunt, and we used to sit down and we used to count the pennies that were in the jars, that was just in the jars. And I thought that was such a cool thing. So I figured if I wanted implants again, I'm going to say this was at least 5-6 years ago, that I will, that I would just save up money, that any extra dollars or anything that I have, that I will put it in there. And if I really wanted it, I will save up for it. That was my logic behind it. Because if I really wanted it, I will save up for it, that I wasn't going to go into my bank account and go and do them. And that's what I did before. I didn't want to do it again. So, and talking to that, we're laughing. And I remember this was back in 2020. Matter of fact, it was back in 2020. And it's still on my door. It's still on my door. And it was my 10 whys on why I wanted to become uber successful. And on that list, one of my whys was, and I can't remember the number. I can't remember the number offhand. But on one of those whys, it was to replace my implant. And I'm laughing right now because I just thought about it. I took so much energy in wanting to save money in the jars for, I had my whole little funding. It was my implant funding jar. Then I had it written on there. And that was my implant. But then also on my 10 whys, one of my whys were to get my implants replaced with new implants. Wow. And as I'm sitting here now, I'm laughing because even when I talk about the sacred placement of, our wants or, our desires, or better yet, the vision board, that was a part of my vision board. Part of my vision board was that why. That was my why vision board. And yes, I'm getting them replaced. I'm removing them all together. I'm replacing them with what? Myself, with my originals, with everything that comes from it. So that just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. And I knew I just had to share it with you all. And I was just trying to figure out, when can I share this with them? Because I thought this was such an amusing situation, but very, very telling. Very telling. All right. So in your toolkit, number 2, to put in the toolkit, or let's create it, is the support system audit. All right. So I want to tell y'all something. You cannot transform in isolation. You cannot transform in isolation. But the thing is that everyone is not equipped. Everyone in your life is not equipped to support your growth. And that is just the truth. So I'm going to share something with you. And I think this is exactly why, people and myself have been, growing apart from one another. Because I believe at one part of time, my group of people were not the right fit for where it is that I was going. As is, I probably wasn't the right fit in their group, in their support group of their growth. You understand what I'm saying? And now as I sit here and I think about it, I think about, the many people that were in my life once before and how they've all faded away, whether I've left or whether they've faded away, but they're no longer here. And then I understand when I think about my decision and my choices now is exactly right. because a lot of those people wouldn't have understood me going through this. A lot of people wouldn't have understood my spiritual journey. A lot of them wouldn't have understood me removing my implants and being okay with just what God has given me. Just as I now, and I can see their faces. I can see their faces just so wow. And now I truly understand what was happening with me in my inner circle that was happening for me, you know. And just recently now I'm really into the auditing. Before it was just doing it on its own. But it's like now I saw it. So it's like, okay, now let me do it. So here's how that auto support system works. So your inner circle is at least 2 or 3 people. These are your ride or die supporters who will hold space for you without trying to talk you out of a decision. For me, that has been my husband. That has been Dr. Will. And that has been my sister, who is also on this healing journey with me. And then a professional team as needed. This includes your medical team, your therapists, coaches, trainers, anyone who has expertise in your area of transformation. So again, my team includes Dr. Sood, Dr. Will, and my spiritual mentor. And then your inspiration circle. That can be 5 or 10 people, 5 to 10 people. And these are people who inspire you, who walk similar paths, who just radiate the energy that you want to embody. And that includes women in my BII group, other entrepreneurs who have made brave decisions, and spiritual teachers. And so now let's talk about the community. This is a part of it. This is where your broader network comes in. This becomes you, my podcast listeners, my social media followers, support groups. These are people that provide encouragement and accountability. Now, here's the hard part. Here's the hard part. You need to identify who in your current circle doesn't belong. Who in your current circle doesn't belong in these categories during your transformation? It doesn't mean that you love them less. It means that you're protecting your energy while you're vulnerable. And tool number 3, we're going to call this the daily practice stack. You know, transformation happens in the daily practices, not just the big moments. So here's my practice stack that you can adapt. Morning, 15 to 20 minutes, if you can. 5 minutes of gratitude journaling. 5 minutes of meditation and prayer. 5 minutes of reviewing your vision and setting your intentions for the day. Your midday check-in. Your midday check-in is about 5 minutes. Do a nice little body scan, or how am I feeling physically? Then do a mind check. What thoughts are needed directing? In your heart check. Am I acting from love or from fear? And then an evening reflection. Maybe about 10 minutes right before you go to bed. What did I learn today? What did I honor? How did I honor my transformation today? What am I releasing from today? And what am I grateful for? All right, so tool number 4, Tool number 4, see, I'm trying to get all the way. The fear inventory and release practice, all right? See, y'all know fear is going to come up during this transformation, right? I shared it with us yesterday, right? About on a threshold, how sometimes that fear comes up and recognizing what that fear looks like. So of us, instead of pretending that it won't, let's create a system for working with it. Let's create a system. All right, so let's talk about fear inventory. That's our first one. I want you to write down every fear that you have about your transformation. Get them all out. All right. For my explant journey, my fears include what if I don't feel feminine? What if my career suffers? What if the surgery doesn't help my symptoms? And what if I regret this decision? And then a reality check. Then you write down the reality check of them all. For each fear you ask, is this fear based on facts or stories? That's one. Here's the next question. What's the worst that could realistically happen? 2. 3. How likely is that the worst case scenario? And the last one, if it did happen, how could I handle it? And so I'm going to stop right here before I go to the next one. I remember that was one of my biggest concerns. Well, actually, I don't want to say concern. What I want to say is that is what my thought was. If it did happen, how could I handle it? And I remember being able to answer it as like, this is what's supposed to happen. Whatever happens in this moment, whatever happens during this process is supposed to happen. Now, I just have to be aware of what's happening. I have to pay attention to the lessons. I have to pay attention to the message that is happening in this process, if that makes sense. So for me, that helped lessen the fear. Does that make sense? All right, so now let's talk about the release ritual. Choose a way to physically release these fears. You can burn the list safely. I love doing that. Safely. You can bury it in the earth. You can release it in water. Or you can transform it through movement or dance. Like I say, I usually, when I write it down, I say a prayer and I burn it. All right, to identify, tool 5 is to identify the bridge. You know, one of the hardest parts of transformation is releasing our old identities. I've had to grieve the identity of a woman with implants, of Nyomi with implants that I've carried for almost 22 years. Here's how to build a bridge between who you were and who you were becoming. Honor the past. Write a letter of gratitude of your old identity. Thank it for serving you, for protecting you, or even helping you survive a certain season. Identify the transferable gifts. What qualities from your old identity are you keeping? For me, it's the confidence that I built that didn't come from implants. It came from my spirit that's coming with me. And then next, I want you to embrace the expansion. Your new identity isn't replacing your old one. It's expanding. You're not becoming someone different. You're becoming more of yourself. In tool 6, the practical preparation checklist. Let's get real practical. Every transformation requires logistics, right? Right? Financial preparation. Calculate all costs involved. Create a budget for your transformation period. Set up emergency funds if needed. And research payment plans or insurance coverage. Physical preparation. Gather all medical records or documentations that's needed. Prepare your physical space for recovery and change. Stock up on supplies that you need and arrange for help with daily tasks if necessary. And emotional preparation. Schedule extra sessions with your therapist. Plan a self-care activities for difficult days. Create a comfort items collections like books or music, etc. And arrange for emotional support check-ins. Now let's talk about the spiritual preparation. Increase your meditation or your prayer practice or timing. Connect with your spiritual community. Create a sacred space in your home. And plan spiritual practicals for difficult moments. And tool 7 is the milestone celebration plan. You know what, because honey, we have to celebrate this journey. Not just the destination, but the journey. So plan how you're going to acknowledge each step. Small milestones. Celebrate about making the decision. Celebrate about taking that first step. Celebrate about completing preparation phases. Celebrate showing up despite of fear. And let's talk about major milestones. Let's celebrate the halfway point. Right now, I am officially 6 weeks out. And I'm celebrating because I'm still here. I'm still excited. I'm preparing myself. I'm preparing my home. Completion of major phases. 6 months post-transformation. And then the 1 year anniversary. I'm thinking about having a party. And here's some celebration ideas. Write yourself a love letter. Write yourself a love letter. Treat yourself to something special. I'm going through I'm getting a whole new wardrobe. Yes. Share your progress with your support circle. Create an art or document your journey. And plan a meaningful experience. And tool 8. The setback recovery protocol. Because let's be real. Transformation isn't linear. No, it's not. You're going to have hard days. You're going to have days of doubts and maybe even temporary setbacks. But having a protocol, it helps you to bounce back faster. When doubt hits, number 1, pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. And then 2, return back to your why. Return back to your why. 3, when the doubt hits, review your vision board. Number 4, call someone from your inner circle. And number 5, do small things to move you forward. Now, when fear overwhelms you, do your fear inventory practice. Move your body, walk, dance, stand. Remember, return to your daily practices. And remember, fear is information. Fear is information. not instructions. Now, when other questions of your decision comes, I want you to remember that one, that their discomfort with your growth isn't about them and not you. And this is when other people question your decisions. 2, I want you to have your prepared responses ready. I know, for real, Nyomi? Yes. And 3, limit sharing your details with unsupportive people. You know who they are. And 4, return to your support circle for encouragement. And tool number 9, the documentation practice. Transform your journey into medicine for others by documenting it. That's what I'm doing in my podcast. Actually, I think it's 42 days that I'm sharing every day, my day 1, my day 2 on my social medias. But daily documentation, voice memos for insights, quick photos of your state of mind, and 1-sentence gratitude entries. But then also you can do the weekly documentation, longer journal entries, your progress photos or measurements, and lessons that you learned, reflections. And then your monthly documentations, if you want to do this, your video check-ins with yourself, letters to your future self, and sharing appropriate parts of your journey with others. So now let's talk about the integration phase. And here's what most people don't talk about: the integration phase after your transformation. And this is when you learn to live with your new self. Expect an adjustment period. It takes time to fully embody your new reality. Practice self-compassion. You're learning to be yourself in a new way. Stay connected to your support system. Don't isolate after the big change. And continue your daily practices. These become even more important in post-transformation. My personal transformation toolkit in action. So let me share how I'm using these tools for my explant. My vision board, it includes images of women in their natural bodies. And I have old pictures of myself in my natural body. Healing energy and words like authentic, hold, and free. And then my support system, Laura, Dr. Sue, Dr. Will, my husband, the women of BBI. I think I found me a good, a new best friend through all of this. And you, my podcast community. You know, my daily practices, it include, of course, my morning meditation and prayer, my evening journaling, my midday body check-ins. And I've written a letter to my implants thanking them for their service. And I've prepared my home for recovery. I've planned celebrations for making decisions, completing the pre-op appointments, surgery day, and my 6-month post-surgery anniversary. And if anybody know me, I got a whole spread going on with my little balloons going. I'm not taking this lightly, because I truly have to understand is that I'm now becoming who I've always been. And for a person that's always, why is this happening, or why this or why that? This is truly an answer to a lot of my whys. And I know this is a time of celebration. Even as I'm speaking to you right now, I am celebrating. I'm celebrating my journey. I'm celebrating my accountability. I'm celebrating my vulnerability. I'm celebrating my decision making. I am in celebration of my full circle of life, of my completion. So your homework for this weekend. Yes, I'm giving you a little homework. I know it's a holiday weekend, but I want you to choose 3 tools. I want you to choose 3 tools from today's episode that resonate most with you. And then next, start implementing one of the tools this weekend. Next, share your commitment. Write it in a supportive group. And if you're still not able to find your support group, write it to yourself. Write it to yourself if you cannot find someone in your support circle that you feel that you can share with. And the next, set a date. Set a date to complete your transformation toolkit. And I want you to remember that you don't have to use every tool. Choose what serves your journey. Because you might not be going through a surgery. It might be for something else. It might be for something else. And I want you to remind you all that this podcast, The Season of Self-Love, we are all about the ripple effect. See, when you transform, when I transform with intentions and preparation and love, we create ripples that extend far beyond our own life. Again, my expert journey isn't just about my healing. It's about giving other women permission to choose their health, their authenticity, and their freedom. Your transformation, whatever it is, has the power to heal not just you, but everyone whose life you touch. Everyone. All right, my beautiful people. So as we close this incredible week together, I want you to know how proud I am of every one of you for just showing up, for listening, for considering what transformation looks like in your life. I see your comments and I thank you. I thank you. You know, we covered so much ground this week. The importance of mental preparation for life-changing decisions. The power of understanding your deep why. The connection between physical and spiritual wellness. The tools for breaking through those mental barriers. And today, your complete transformation toolkit. That's a lot. But it's much needed. It really is. All right, my beautiful people. All right, so I remember I said that it's something that we're doing new just this month. Is adding a closing meditation. So let's close with one final meditation together, all right? So if you can close your eyes and place your hand over your heart. Feel that steady, powerful rhythm. That's your life force, your power, and your truth. Now take a deep breath in, and imagine yourself fully transformed. Not perfect, but fully aligned with your highest good. See yourself using these tools we've discussed. See yourself supported, prepared, and confident in your journey. Breathe in trust for your process. And breathe out any remaining doubt. Breathe in excitement for what's coming. And breathe out attachment to how it has to look. Feel the freedom that comes from being fully prepared for your transformation. Now say with me silently, I am ready, I am supported, and I am free to become. Now take one final deep breath. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes and step into your transformation. All right, my beautiful people. Well, next week we will continue our Preparing for Transformation series with more incredible guests sharing their BBI loads today, their BII stories in transforming journeys. Again, I thank you so much for just coming on this journey with me. Truly is, and just really being open to listen to these stories, but also to go through the journey yourself. Your journey might not be explant journey. It might be something else, that surgery, your transformation. But whatever it is, I'm so glad that you chose to share it with me or be in this moment and listen to my journey. All right. So until Monday, I want you to sit with this question. What transformation is ready to begin in your life? And what tools will you use to support yourself through it? Trust yourself, my people. Trust your journey. Trust that you have everything that you need within you to create the life that you're being called to live. I love you. I see you. And I am here cheering you on every step of the way. Have a beautiful, transformative weekend. And remember, your freedom is in your birthright. Have a safe weekend and enjoy your holiday. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovering and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.